And I was like, oh my gosh, look at that man, like that. And as he came nearer and nearer, I said to my friend, oh my gosh, it's my brother.
Did Stephen seem like he had any learning disabilities at all? Was he ever diagnosed with anything that you know of?
No, he wasn't diagnosed with anything because I remember him even in summer in the playground, like with his anorak, with the hood up, with the fur around the ear, around the hood in summer, in the playground like that. So he was, not an oddball, but he did stand out a
What
bit.
was his relationship with your dad?
Even my dad commented, once he said, oh, just saying thing, oh, he could be dead in the house and nobody knows, kind of thing, just saying that's how it was,
That's how
you
bad.
don't
Like
know.
that's.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
So Stephen's left the house.
Yeah.
Stephen's got his own place, but then he loses his job. He loses his relationship. He's no longer driving his vehicle. It's parked up at mum's house for a very, very long
Mm.
time. How did, has, and does his death make you feel?
She'll go to my brother's grave burial and put flowers, and I'm just like, I can't do that.
And maybe parts of you might still be trying to digest it. Hence why it's sort of like I don't really even engage with it too much. I'll do Dad's candle, but I'm not really trying to do Stephen's candle. I would like to open a new chapter and talk about your brother. Is it okay if I ask his names? I can refer to him by his name.
Yeah.
What was his
His
name?
name was Stephen.
Stephen. Okay, Stephen. Bear with me a moment. How was his name spelled? With a PH or V?
Yeah, PH.
Okay. Stephen. Okay. 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 So you and Stephen are twins.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let you talk to me about Stephen how you wish.
Mm-hmm. Um, well, Stephen, oh bless him. Oh, I've dreamt him not now, not for many many years, but I have dreamt him twice. Since he's passed. I'm sure. But when we were growing up, we in the same primary school, but we were not in the same class. They, separated us. Um, so I just remember him. Don't remember really playing with him in the playground or, at school or, anything like that. I just remember the last time that I saw him, but I can't remember if he actually I did it. I invited him to my house. I was walking down the road with my friend and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, look at that man, kind of thing. He did not like a homeless man, but there was just something about him from afar off. I think he was tall. He looked extra tall and he was like in a long black coat, kind of thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at that man, like that. And as he came nearer and nearer, I said to my friend, oh my gosh, it's my brother. And I remember we were talking to him, and I remember because when he passed, I was saying, I remember the last time I saw him, and I remembered inviting him for soup, and I can't remember if he actually came or I'm remembering it because he didn't come. He never got to come before he passed away. But that's what I remember about him. I also, since doing the live as well, and I remember thinking to myself, and I was saying, I've only got one picture of him. One, no, tell a lie. I've got a picture of me and him,
Mm,
um, from primary school,
mm,
and there's maybe two other pictures of us, the four of us children in primary school as well. But I've only got one adult picture of him standing in the park, you know.
mm,
Um, but apart from that, I've got no other pictures of him. I've realised since doing the live as well, thinking back about him, I've got no pictures of him with any of my children.
mm,
I've got no pictures of us, me and him as an adult, adults together, or teenagers together. So much so that a few months, a few months back, my mum has asked my niece to, put a, there was a picture of my brother and a picture of me, and she's got her to go to the shop and, put them together. So it looks like we're teenagers, we're in this
mm.
picture together, but they're two separate. It looks like we're together, but
Wow.
it's two separate pictures.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I remember my mum is so. I think my mum was so cross with me, and I won't mention it now because it'll probably bring up memories again
Mm,
for her. She'll be cross again because she had a baby picture of me and Stephen on her living room wall,
mm,
and I remember I took the picture to show my friends. Yeah, and that was when I lived where I met Shanice's dad. It was a
okay.
lady in the next stairwell. So I was quite old, at maybe
Mm,
22 or 23. I took the picture from the wall to show my friend, and it never got back to her. And it's lost now forever, So, yeah. But I don't remember really, yeah, playing with him. We didn't really have our teenage years of, he had different friends. It's one thing we did have in common, all four of us done a paper round.
mm.
So we, used to go on our bikes and, things like that. But
Did all four of you do it together or
we
different?
all had our separate. My
Well,
big
okay.
brother worked with Mr. Patel, and me, my
Okay.
sister, and my brother. We used to work um, with Mike or whatever his name was. But as you say that, if I had an argument with my sister, I'm digressing a bit, but
No,
if
that's
if I had a tiff or something with my sister because we shared the same room, I'd get up, make sure I'd get up quiet, quiet, quiet. go, go for my paper round, Jenny, not wake her up because usually if we're cool, we wake up.
oh my days.
We wake
Raw.
up each other. But if we're like, she do the same. Then we wake up, we're late, We see this one coming back, they're finished, and then that's running to get, ride our bike quick to go and collect our papers to start doing.
Crazy.
Sorry, I just remembered that, but yeah, but we all used to do a paper round, yeah. So I
Wow.
remember
Mm,
Steve, yeah, telling us his
okay.
story of, as in winter when it's dark and you got to go in these mad flats, and he
Mm.
saw a pair of feet round the corner and he was so scared. And we were like so concerned for him that, oh gosh, because we all done different rounds, so
And he had that
yeah.
round.
He had that round, yeah.
So
Yeah.
when he saw the pair of feet, what did he do after? Did he
He
leave
just
or he?
ran, yeah, he just ran. He just ran back, yeah, he just ran back down it, yeah. Yeah.
And around what age were you guys when you were doing the paper rounds?
About 13. Yeah,
Mm,
13. Yeah, because we started when we were 13. So about
mm,
13, 14, 15.
okay.
Yeah. But I
So you said,
always remember him. Yeah. I don't
mm,
know if you remember the little, I don't know, the plasticine man. You remember
mm,
Moore? I
Paul.
think you're Morph. Okay.
No, no.
There used to be a little a program with a little plasticine man, and like It sounds silly. I don't know if you seen Pingu. You know
Yeah,
Pingu.
yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah, yeah,
Pingu.
yeah.
You know the
Oh,
way he
something
talks.
like that.
Morph
Yeah,
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 Morph used to talk
yeah.
like that, and
Okay.
his Stephen's teacher in
Mm.
primary school used to call him Morph. You know, because he not that he talked like Morph, but he had like kind of
That
characteristics of
mannerism.
Morph. Yeah, his
Okay. How
mannerisms.
do you
Yeah,
spell morph?
Morph.
Yeah.
MORPH.
MORPH.
Yeah, little
Morph.
plastic seat. Yeah, morph. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Okay. Okay.
He had
Okay.
like mannerisms of morph,
Okay.
you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Bless
Okay.
him.
Okay. 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 So you said you don't really have childhood memories of him.
I think I more have childhood memories than adult ones.
Okay.
The adult ones are just that we'd go to his house and he wouldn't let us in, you know, he wouldn't.
Okay. So
Yeah.
tell me a bit more about the childhood ones. Like, so you've explained to me kind of the teens, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
let's say 7 and under. Do you have anything like that? Seven,
Seven
eight
and
under?
under. Oh, gosh. Not really, no. Just that
Mm,
we just used to have our, you know, I remember we had our birthday together.
mm,
We used to go, if we go up the park together, we done a lot of that. We'd go, you know, there was a park just up the road from us.
okay.
So yeah, we'd often like go to the park, but that was always with the other children. We'd play
Okay.
as well, you know, like 40 home and all that sort of stuff in, you know, our little where we lived and
Mm.
things like that. But
So,
yeah,
as siblings, all of you at home, did you all used to play with each other?
we did, but we used to fight a lot, you know.
And who
Yeah.
used to fight with who
Um,
that you can remember
I didn't
most?
really fight with David. I think Sonia and Stephen used to fight a lot.
And
Or
Sonia is your older sister just above you, and
yeah,
Stephen?
yeah. I think Sonia
Okay.
and Stephen used to
Okay.
fight a lot, or me and Sonia used to fight a lot. I don't. Or David, David and Stephen used to fight as well. Because they used to fight a lot. But I
Okay.
don't really remember fighting with David.
Okay.
But yeah, they used to
Okay.
fight.
And did you used to fight with Stephen?
Mm, not that I can remember. I probably did, but
Mm.
you
But
know,
not
not that.
significantly like Sonia and
No,
David.
no.
Okay. And
Mm.
what type of things did Sonia used to fight with him about?
Mm, I don't even know. I
Mm.
can't remember. But one time I don't know what they were doing, but she lashed out. She stabbed him in the back of his neck with a pencil. Yeah, stabbed him in the back of his neck with a pencil, and with me as well, because she was on the we were playing this game. She was laying on the floor, and I was throwing the darts, and but missing her, you know, throwing them over her, and then one of them like
Mm.
sorry,
Got
one
her.
sorry, one of them went into her by accident. It weren't on purpose, and she's like grabbed it out and like and lobbed it at me, and it's like embedded in my leg. You know, it was that. Yeah, it was that
Around what
kind of
age were you?
stuff. Gosh, maybe 11 or yeah, I
Wow.
don't know. It could have been younger, but maybe 11, 12.
Wow. So what kind
Yeah.
of things did David and Stephen fight about?
Hey, I don't know. You just see, yeah, I
Mm.
don't know. Because David, actually, I think Stephen had a lump. He had a big lump here.
Mm.
And we
That he
always
was
say when
born
they were
with?
fighting.
What? Oh no. Stephen. The lump on his ear. Was he born with it?
No, he wasn't. I think they were fighting. I think David kicked him and he banged. Well, that's the story we had. He kicked him up against the wall, like kicked it like his head up against the wall, and he always had this lump here. The whole of that bit was a hard lump, and then whenever my mum took him to, not often, when it got really hard, because it was hard, whenever she took him to get it drained, I think blood used to come out of it, but it always came back again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You know what I'm gonna do, Sandra?
Mhm.
My sound is funny, and so is yours. And my battery's gone down again. So what I would like us to do, if you're happy, I'm gonna pause it here,
Yeah.
recharge, we have a break, and then we jump back on.
Okay.
If that's okay. I
Sorry.
won't keep you too long for
Yeah.
the next one, but we'll finish up. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'll
Okay.
see you soon. We'll be
See
back,
you
guys.
soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye. We're back. We're back. Welcome back, everybody. Um. Okay, Sandra. So, just to pick up from where we left off, because my audio got a bit funny. David and Stephen had a fight where David has injured Stephen, causing Stephen to now have this um almost like a keloid by it sounds abscess type
Mhm.
of thing.
Yeah.
And every now and then he now needs to go to the hospital to get it drained.
Mhm.
Fluids come out, sometimes blood comes out, and then it resurfaces again.
Yes.
Around what age did this happen? How old was Stephen when he ended up with this?
Mhm. Gosh. Don't know. Maybe 10 or so, but he
Wow.
was old. We always knew him with the
With
lump
that.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And how did David ever express how he felt about
No,
causing that?
to be honest, I think David had, 'cause I don't know if that's the story, of them
Mm,
fighting and he got kicked up against the wall, but we've always heard that that's how it occurred. But David had the same lump, but it weren't as big.
hmm.
It wasn't as big as Stephen's one. Yeah.
And how? What's the story behind Davy's one? How did that occur?
I don't know.
Okay,
Mm,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay. We're gonna look at ears later. We're gonna look at ears
Okay.
later. Okay, Stephen. What was his character like in regards to standing up for himself? Was he always overpowered? Was he loud? What was he like when it came to that?
No, yeah, he wasn't. I never knew him to be loud or anything like that. No, he was. Yeah, I don't remember seeing him like getting angry and things. He wasn't that kind of a person. If you look at like even his teacher described him as morph is kind of
Mm,
quite quiet, because I remember him even in summer in the playground, like with his anorak, with the hood up, with
mm,
the fur around the ear, around the hood in summer, in the
mm,
playground like that. So he was, not an oddball, but
mm,
he did stand out a bit.
okay,
Mm.
okay. Is there any history of him being bullied at all in any way?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. And what
Mm.
was his, from your point of view, when you look at everyone, what was his interaction, relationship with your dad like?
Mm. I can't really remember.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
no, I can't really remember.
But
Mm.
apparently he was your
Favorite,
mum's favorite.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and what did that look like? I know you say you don't really have any memories, but if anything at all, what would have
yeah.
wedged that into your
Mm.
minds that, oh, this is mum's favorite?
Probably he didn't get smacked as much as us, you know.
But is that because
Yeah.
he did he behave
But he
differently
was
from you lot?
quiet, yeah, but probably because he
Mm,
was a quieter, if I was,
mm,
you know, screaming and that on the floor. Of course, my mum would, you know, get
Mm,
annoyed with me, but I think
mm,
probably because he was quieter, I don't really remember him getting,
into much
hit
trouble.
as much as us. Yeah.
Okay. When you all went to go
I
to
do.
went,
Yeah.
sorry, please, yeah.
No, I do remember him. The one thing we remember and we used to laugh about, because when our mum washed our hair,
Mm.
she'd bend us over the bath backwards. It weren't forwards, it was backwards, and he hated having his hair washed. And, he'd be like, there'd be a power struggle between the two of them, and he would manage to get away and we just remember him just running down the stairs naked, and hiding somewhere. So
Oh
it
wow, he hated it that much.
yeah, yeah. It was just things like that we remembered. What I remember of him, and we used to joke about it. That he done that.
Okay. So did he have long hair? Did he
He
have?
didn't. No, no, he
Okay, just
didn't.
standard
Yeah,
boy type.
just standard. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. When you all used to go and visit your dad at your dad's place, how did Stephen behave in your dad's house?
Mm, I can't remember.
Do you remember it
No.
being any different from your mum's, or
Mm,
when from different from how he was
mm,
when you were at mum's house?
yeah. I can't really remember. No,
Okay. Okay.
no.
As you grew older, did he ever express to you how he felt about your dad?
No, he wouldn't. None of us, If anything, when we were younger, we'd make up, if we were, like kids make up stories. You do
Mm,
like they tell horror stories or something. It weren't horror stories that we told. We used to like tell like funny stories like about our mum, and remembering the things that, she'd done or that we found funny or,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
not, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna jump to the point where Stephen moves out the house into his own place.
Yeah, I think I had gone by then, so I don't really know what
Okay.
happened. All I know is he got, his own flat. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and he moved into his own flat.
Do you know how he got his own flat? Was he paying rent?
No,
Was he? You, okay.
I don't know. No, I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
No.
So Stephen's now at his own flat. How far do you live from him? Like, if you wanted to walk to his
Mm,
place or drive, or like,
yeah.
what would the journey be like?
Mm, At that time, I would have been in Brockley or in Lewisham by then. It's not that far. He lived in Brockley, and
Okay.
I lived at the time in Lewisham.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's it's not
I
far at
don't really
all.
know about the South London
Oh, okay,
distances. That's
yeah,
all.
no, it's like it's like a train stop, a train
Okay.
journey, or maybe
Okay.
15, 20 minutes
Okay.
away. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So he's there. You're there. Does did Stephen? Do you know of him ever being in a relationship, and did he have any children?
Think he didn't have any children, no. I
Okay.
think he was in a relationship before he went to his flat, but I think from what I'm gathering, he lost his job, he lost his relationship, because he used to drive as well, and his car was it was parked where my mum lived for like quite a while. It wasn't, yeah,
He wasn't moving. He wasn't
it
driving it.
wasn't, no, no.
Okay. What did I'm listening to you? What did Stephen used to work as? What was his job when he was working?
I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not sure, but I
Hmm.
think I don't know, I think he might have worked at like Fads. There
What
was
does
like
Fads
a
do? What does?
Fads, they do, like the Wix of now, like that sort of thing, wallpaper,
Okay.
that sort of stuff. Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay,
I
okay.
think I can't say for definite,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Environment. Okay. So he was there for a little bit. Is that the job that he left? He lost?
That's the yeah,
Okay.
because I didn't really
Okay.
know him having lots of different jobs. I don't really know.
Okay. Did Stephen seem like he had any learning disabilities at all? Was he ever diagnosed with anything that you know
No, he wasn't diagnosed with anything.
of?
No,
Okay. Okay. And he didn't need like any extra support at school or anything like that or at
no,
home. Would
no,
you have
not that I
considered
know of.
Okay, would you have considered him like an intellect, or what would you have? How would you
Um,
have described your brother when it comes to knowledge and
yeah,
education?
yeah, he weren't, you know, like top of the class, I don't think, but
Okay,
he seemed like, he was able to, he got on well at primary, got on well at secondary. I don't think he went to uni or anything like that.
okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
So Stephen's left the house.
Yeah.
Stephen's got his own place, but then he loses his job. He loses his relationship. He's no longer driving his vehicle. It's parked up at mum's house for a very very long
Mm.
time. When all this is happening, around what age is he?
He must have been about 23, 24.
Okay, he's about
Mm.
23, 24.
Mm.
How long has he been out of mum's house by that time? Around that age as well?
Um,
Or?
to be honest, I don't know because I left when I was 17.
Okay, a
So
long
he
time
might have
before.
left. Yeah, he might have left maybe 2 or 3 years after me.
After. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. When he stopped driving his car, was it later or more in his 20s, would you say?
I'm not sure. I couldn't say for definite.
Okay,
No.
okay, okay. So, Stephen's in his own place and all this has happened. How regularly are you seeing him? Just on average, once a
Mm,
month, would you say?
yeah, not even that. I
Okay,
weren't seeing him often at all.
okay,
Yeah, because
okay,
he kind of became like, just keeping himself to himself, just like,
okay,
not a recluse, but even my dad commented, once he said, "Oh, just saying thing, oh, he could be dead in the house and nobody knows, kind of thing, just saying that that's how it was,
that's how
you
bad.
don't
Like
know."
that's.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what happened, he was
Mm.
passed away at home and nobody knew until my mum went and let herself in and found him.
So, between the last time Stephen was seen by anybody and the time your mum found him, how long was that?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Mm, okay. So, what I'm about to ask you, I just want you to answer it within the remit you're comfortable with.
Mhm.
If you can, describe to me what your mother described to you. In
That's the thing.
mm,
She, I don't think she's really described what she's really, really seen. But when she got there, she like let herself in. I think there was like a lot of flies. Um, and she said, in herself, what are all these flies? Kind of, what are all these flies? But that's what she mainly said, that she just saw lots of flies. Like, she must have gone in, she must have seen him, she must have.
mm,
Knowing my mum, she wouldn't have just seen the flies and gone off, she would have gone in, but she's not said, you know.
Okay. So mum hasn't told you much about that. She's just said when I went in, this is what I saw, and it
Yeah.
kind of ends there. Okay. So I know when I was talking with Shanice, she made a mention of this, and but she made mention that nobody knows what happened. Is that
Yeah.
the case?
Yeah, they don't know what happened because even when they done the inquest, all that they were reading out, we were saying, but he didn't have asthma. What do they mean? That's not
Mm,
him. And they had the medical records of my other brother. That's
mm,
what they were reading. It turns out Stephen wasn't registered, you know, with a doctor. Well, he must have been, but they was reading out my other brother's medical records. It was the wrong brother.
So did they do an autopsy on Stephen?
I think he was too he was yeah, he'd been there too long.
Too long for them to be able to pick up.
Yeah. I think they recorded it as natural causes.
Okay. So Stephen has gone through this. He's transitioned. And how old was he? 25,
26.
26 years old at the time. Tell me, the moment your sister's come to your door, she's banging it down. This has happened. This has happened.
Mhm.
Take me on the journey from that moment on.
From what I remember, I was living at where we had that big problem and had to move into temporary accommodation. I was living there with Shanice's dad. I had Shanice, the other kids. She came banging that he's passed. So I think it's just like I can't, I just, put it out of my mind because I
Mm,
think we went to my sister's house, or I literally can't even remember whose house we went to, but we went to somebody's house. I can't remember. It was probably my mum's house because my mum had found him, but
mm,
I don't remember. We didn't go to his house, or I don't know. We might have gone to his house, but not in his house or anything like that. We went to where it was, in Brockley. I think that's, what what we done like as a family, but it's just I don't know, it's just like it was just like it wasn't happening, and it's like I
mm,
wasn't understanding, even though my sister said he's passed, I didn't really, it's like I didn't really understand what was happening, because in later discussions when they was saying, what, he'd been there, how long he'd been there and everything like that, um and I think we were trying to plan for the funeral, whatever, and um they were saying about clothes, getting him clothes that he can wear, and then they were saying no, he can't wear clothes, and I was like, it's like I couldn't understand why. I'm saying
mm,
why. My sister said him did I rotten like that, and I was like, oh my gosh, and that's when it like got hit home that, oh my gosh, kind of thing, what had happened. And it was just like, my poor mom, because it's like she wasn't really talking a lot. And I remember at the funeral as well, I was walking in with my dad because everybody was with my mum, supporting my mum, and nobody was really like supporting my dad, you know. So I remember walking in, you know, into the church like with my dad. And I just remember as well when we went to the cemetery, when we drove to the cemetery, we were in like those cars, you know, the black cars. And as soon as we got there, it's as soon as the car stopped, it's like the window on my side just shattered, just broke. Yeah. Where I was sitting in the car, the window just broke and cut. I had a cut on my hand, you know, and I just thought, oh gosh, you know, and it's just, yeah, it was just, it just didn't seem real. And because we, you know, usually we have like an open coffee, and he couldn't have an open coffee, or you know, anything. It just didn't seem real, and I just didn't, you know, really think about it
Mm.
as now. Like when my dad passed, every year I, you know, I have a little candle just to remember him, you know, at Christmas. But like with my brother, like like my sister will go to the cemetery every year, my dad's birthday, and she'll go to my brother's grave burial and put flowers, and I'm just like, you know, I can't do that. You know, I've been there, but to go every year, you know, I don't do that. I can't do that. Mm.
How did, has, and does his death make you feel?
At the time, it just made me, you know, made me sad, you know, that he's passed so long, you know, so young. And I remember as well, like Shanice's nan said, you know, oh, you know, when one twin dies, the other one dies shortly after, you know. I'm like, gosh, you
Mm.
know, that's all I need to hear, you know. Don't need to hear that. But I do, yeah, at the time it did make me feel sad. But I think because we were not as close as we should be, you know, it hasn't affected me in a way that it, you know, has affected maybe my sister, why she finds, you know, the need to go every
Mm.
time to the grave, you know. I just don't do that. I have no feelings to, you know, go and do that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought though that it might actually be the opposite? Because you and him are basically one soul split in two, is actually means more to you, and that's why it's more difficult for you. For her, that's my brother. So I'll do. Remember, she's the same sister who, okay, mum gets on my nerves, but I'll do what I've got to do. Like I
Mhm.
know the roles, and I'll do the roles. I'll play the role. I'll do what I have to do. Bro's passed away. We're gonna go and see him. Mum needs something. We'll give
Mhm.
it to her. But for you now, it probably is deeper, and it takes much more for you to be able to do the things that your sister can just do anyhow. You're like, well,
Mhm.
if I try that, I need to keep myself ground, keep
Mhm.
it. This is a big thing that I'm still trying to process,
Mhm.
or I don't wanna because it's so big, and I'm afraid to process it because of what
Mhm.
it might do to me. Because something like
Yeah.
that will break and shake you before you can rise like a phoenix. There's no other way around it. There will be no
Yeah.
nice way about that. There'll be no soft way about that. That will
Mhm.
be what it is. Okay.
Yeah, because my mum always, when she introduced me, people who's not seen me before, she'll go into the whole thing. Oh, she was a twin, you know.
Mm,
She always, yeah,
mm,
she was a twin. You
mm.
know, she was a twin. Mhm.
Yeah, because you're for like I said, one soul split in two. For your mum, I can't introduce you to someone without mentioning it, because that means I'm not
Mhm.
introducing you in your
Yeah.
totality. I have to talk about your
Mhm.
brother, because it's like that. Because remember, she carried you both. It's one carriage. Do you
Mhm.
see? It's
Yeah.
one carriage. So it's everything one.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm still gonna talk about your brothers, both their ears, and now I'm also gonna talk about your hand and what happened on that day. I'll talk about all those things last, because I'm gonna turn to the book when it comes to that. If Do you know what? I think I'm gonna do them now, and then I'll ask you my final question after, and we'll see. Because we're on about 15 minutes left for this one. We
Mhm.
may meet again. Okay, so bear with me. Let me look at this. Because we have ear, but we also have what they had on their ears,
Mhm.
which, whether it's a keloid or an abscess, is that what they call it?
It was hard. Yeah, it
It
was
was hard, more
hard.
like a. Was
Yeah,
it
it was.
shiny?
No, it was just like the whole of here was just hard. Yeah,
Mm. And
the
did it
whole
come
of here.
outwards?
Yeah, it came out. You'd see it.
Mm.
Yeah, and you could feel it as
And
well.
same skin tone, same texture as the actual ear?
Yeah, same color. It weren't a different color or
Nothing.
anything.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. Let's just do ear. If we have ear. Okay. Let's just do ear raw for now, and we'll take it from there. Oh, it's a long one. How can I not pick out these long ones? All right. Let me see if there's any segment I feel. Um. Do you remember whether it was the right or left ear?
My gosh.
No, that's fine.
Oh.
That's fine. I'm just trying to see. There's so many little different elements of it, so I would have to skip. Okay, you ready, Sandra?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Ears. It is the organ of the sense of hearing. They are the representation of our ability to listen, to grasp, of receptivity, acceptance of what comes from the outside. The ability to hear is a bodily expression of obedience and humility. To listen to someone or to lend an ear, etc. Ear problems indicate that we have difficulty in hearing what happens within ourselves or around us. Likewise, they can refer to a conflict of not being able to catch the piece or the bite. So, for those of you who know about this book, I'm reading from a book that talks about how our physical body, through disease, illness, through those things, how our internal, our inner man expresses itself through our outer body, through symptoms and through illnesses and through diseases. Now, this book, there's elements to the book that you have to understand in order to also understand what it means. So, for example, it may talk about a disease, but it will talk about, is the disease on the right side of your body or the left? Because where it's placed also matters. So when it uses the term like piece or bite, from my understanding, it means our ability to be in control or grasp an element of our life. So to help you understand, let's say you're trying to grab a piece of something and it keeps slipping through your hand. So you can apply that to maybe something you're struggling to understand. You can apply that to um, a relationship or something you're struggling to manage. So when it uses the term piece or bite, it's talking about piece as in being able to grip it with your jaw, a bite, sorry, or a piece. So a piece of something slipping away. I hope that's making a bit of sense. Does that make a bit of sense, Sandra? Ish.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll read that line again after I've explained it. Ear problems indicate that we have difficulty in hearing what happens within ourselves or around us. Likewise, they can refer to a conflict of not being able to catch the piece or bite. So, now these are the bits, right? So, for example, this next segment is talks about the inner ear, right? Which I don't think they really. It sounds like it was on the outer, right? It was a skin
Mm.
type of thing. But I don't know why. I just feel like I'm gonna still read it anyway
Because
and let
I
it
always,
lead us.
yeah, I always have problems with my inner ears.
Okay, so
Always.
that's probably why I'm drawn to not
Yeah.
skip over this bit. Yeah, let's read
Mm.
this bit. Okay, so your brothers have issue on their ear, and you always have problem with your inner ear. Okay.
Mhm.
Anybody else you know have problems with their ears in your family?
No.
Okay.
My mum, actually, yeah, she's
Okay.
this ringing in her ears. She's always talking about this ringing in
Okay,
her
that's the next
ears.
symptom here. Tinnitus.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I'm
it
pronouncing it right.
is. Yeah.
Okay, we'll read that as well. Okay, so inner ear. Inner ear. When present problems in the inner when present problems in the inner ear, we are living apart from someone who we like to hear or something we like to hear. It's about a separation conflict. I'm alone or do not want to separate myself from. I feel attacked. That's one line. Another line. What I am or what I said or what I hear agreed what I think or feel. Agreed is a word I've never come across. It's not the agreed you think, it's spelt different.
Mhm.
I'm gonna check it, but I have a feeling it means it kind of comes from a word like aggravate, kind of goes against. Let me type it in. A-G. I've never seen this before. Bearing in mind, I've told people before, the man who wrote this book, it was never written in English. So when it's been converted, it's a bit here there sometimes. Okay, let me punch this word in. A-G-R-E-D-E. Let's see whether that's just a fault or if that's a proper word. Okay. Agrede. I don't know how you pronounce it. Oh, it's a Spanish word. Okay. A
Mhm.
Spanish word. Okay, and it means to attack, assault, or set upon someone, often physically or verbally. Okay, it's used in the third person singular. Okay, all right. So kind of what I thought it meant. Okay, what I said or what I hear agreed what I fear, think, or feel. So it's an attack against what you think or feel. So something that you've heard basically doesn't agree with a feeling or a thought that you have. We'll continue reading.
Mm.
I want to part with these insulting words that bother me in understanding my life. I'm going to read all that again because I will break out. Blah, blah, blah. Inner ear. When present problems in the inner ear, we are living apart from someone or something we would like to hear. It's about a separation conflict. Separation conflict is basically anything you find yourself separate from that you don't really want to be separate from, whether that's a
Mm.
physical person, situation, a thought,
Mm.
whatever. Next line. I'm alone or do not want to be separate from. And then it's got dot, 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 dot. Next line. I feel attacked. Next line, what I said. It says what I am said or what I hear. So, okay, what I've heard goes against, attacks what I think or feel. And then the next line, I want to part with these insulting words that bother me in understanding my life. It's a bit there. I don't know whether you want to expand on anything you've heard there or any questions or anything before I continue on.
No, go on.
Okay. This is now talking about the right ear and then it's going to talk about the left ear. So, with the right ear, I do not hear something I wish to hear. And then in brackets it says, an antagonized desire. With the left ear, I hear something I do not want to hear. A counteracted action in brackets. There are several inner ear disorders that cause dizziness or vertigo, nausea, and hearing loss. And now it's going to bring us to mum's one, tinnitus. Tinnitus? The phenomenon that makes you hear sounds hiss, hum, and crackle without this having any relation to my surroundings. This can be temporary or permanent and may occur with different sound intensities. Separation conflict. Lack of enough kind words, explanations, or silence. I'm separated from the sound of someone. Too much silence. Silence is unbearable. Create noise in the head to not like for not being silent in order to avoid the silence that the person is experiencing. Now, when I read I'm separated from the sound of someone, I thought of Stephen for your mother. Because his voice is a voice she won't hear again. The other bit, the other side of this is conflict of aggression. Too many noises, hearing loss. Conflict, not want to hear, or things that we don't want to hear. Built a wall of silence, hiding inside a shell, because the fact of hearing whistling or buzzing tells me perhaps there is something you no longer want to hear these sounds and will drown to prevent this from reaching my ears. That sounds more for hearing loss. There's no hearing. Mum hasn't got hearing loss, right?
She's got hearing aids, but she doesn't like to wear them.
Okay.
Yeah, so she has got hearing loss because you'll speak to her and she, see, yeah, what, but there's other times you'll say, you'll be quietly speaking and she'll hear, so yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I'm gonna keep reading. It's not too much long. I'm gonna keep reading until it gets to the bits where it starts talking about different issues with the ear. And because we're not sure what the issues are, I'll just stop there. And then I'll jump to the bit where it talks about how to resolve issues with the ears. Okay. This is not what I wanted to hear. I cannot stand to hear unpleasant things. It may be words or noises that exceed our ability to reason.
Mhm.
I want to move on, but I also want to say this before I move on. You said when you heard about Stephen's news, you heard it, but it's almost like you didn't really hear it. It was just like, what am
Mhm.
I hearing? What am I hearing? And the ability to digest it took quite a while.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm going to continue. I do as I please. I refuse to hear certain words that I find unpleasant. I resist because I'm afraid to know the truth, to be aware of a situation, or to eventually make a decision. That one's deep. That bit, to be aware of a situation. Let me start again. Let me start further. I resist because I'm afraid to know the truth. There may be a truth that we don't want to face, that we don't want to jump into and digest. See, this is the type of thing you see, the book earlier talked about a bite, and I was trying to
Yeah.
explain this is it. So, this is another way of biting something or getting a grasp, facing a truth that we don't want to face. So, I'm going to go back to that bit. Ear problems indicate that we have difficulty in hearing what happens within ourselves or around us. So, that's someone coming to us to tell us something. Likewise, they can refer to a conflict of not being able to catch the piece or bite. So when I jump back here now, where we are, that is a form of conflict. I resist because I'm afraid to know the truth, to be aware of a situation, or even to eventually make a decision. Now, that make a decision is jumping out at me. I could be wrong, and I can always be wrong because I don't know everything. But I feel that there's a decision, Sandra, waiting for you to make in all this. It might be a personal one between yourself. It might be two thoughts you're having. Which one do I finally need to pick? It might even just be that. It may not literally be, it might be internal opposed to external. But it's almost like you need to come to a truth about something, a decision about something. I'm going to continue. Conflict of territory. I cannot bear to have lost in my own territory or hear how my opponent penetrates it. What sound am I hearing? I accept my inner ears open more to get my inner voice. I eliminate outside noise to hear the inner sounds. Hardness of hearing. We are inflexible. Okay, maybe I'll stop there. Kind of refilled. Yeah, I'll stop there because now that's different. That's hardness of hearing. Okay. Okay. Before I continue, Sandra, anything you have to say about what I've just said or read or anything?
Um, when you were saying about there's I know since doing this live, even when we went on the break, but it's not something I would want to say on the live, but there is something that, has come up to me that I do, need to face, that I've not really it's something that I've put to the back, you know, kind of to the back of my mind, trying to put it out of my memory because it's not something that I really, it's something I would need to discuss, but I prefer not to do it on the live.
Yeah,
But
totally.
it it does, because when things come to me like this, and by what you're reading as well, it's almost like confirmation that, Sandra, you've got to face this thing, to move on, so
Mm. Mm.
yeah. It's- mhm.
Okay. I'm going to read this final bit, which talks about recommendations to recover physical, emotional, and spiritual health surrounding this situation. The ears are to hear, are to hear both what we like and what we dislike. Learn to obey the inner voice itself and also the external. Listen with the ears of the heart. I'm going to repeat that one more time. The ears are to hear both what we like and what we dislike. Learn to obey the inner voice itself and also to the external. Listen with the ears of the heart. And it sounds like that's basically what you've been telling yourself now.
Mhm.
Everything you said sounds like what the ears of the heart will tell you. Sandra, it's time. Let's look at this. Let's look at that. Let's do
Mhm.
that. Our actual ears aren't going to say that to us. So I've closed the book for now. There's two more things that I wanted to talk about. And I feel like they may lead us on. What one of them we could round up, but the second one is going to lead us on.
Mhm.
It's not something I want to rush. So I'll say we'll round it up here, and in due time, over the next few days, hopefully on Christmas and all these things going on, but maybe we can find some time later on after that season and gather together again. And then I
Yes.
can present to you these two things. Yes. Now, before we depart ways, I would like to give you the opportunity to say anything you wish, just to be able to close it off again. I don't want to leave you. I mean, you're going to be open anyway. I mean, this
Mhm.
is not my story, it's your story. And when I come off the lives, I'm open and I'm
Yeah.
processing your story. So I only can imagine what it's like for you,
Mhm.
and Shanice and all the others that will jump on. You're open, your body's at war, your spirit's taking it, and you're going through the motions, which is a good thing. But I just want to give you that opportunity to, also kind of close. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I let you close.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just opening, Reva.
Sorry,
I'm
I
not
feel so
ready to
bad. That's why I'm
close.
trying to do this closing, because I'm like, Reva, you have these people opening and then you're like, okay, bye now. And it's like, come on, man, you speak better than this. And
Yeah,
I
no,
don't even know how to
no,
close.
yeah. No, I'm not ready to close. But for now, yes, I'm ready to close. But the book, the break, the time in the break, it's just I'm the kind of person, Reva, if I start I start having this feeling inside, it's not the same, but if I'm at a workplace and I enjoy my work, I like my work, the moment I start feeling like, you know, if, I'm not enjoying my work, I start getting tearful, that's the time I know it's time for me to move on, and if I don't do it then, I know the time is going to come later on that
Mm,
I need to do, I need to move on. The same thing when I was at a church for 11 years, and then I just started to get that feeling again, and
mm,
I just knew if I don't do it now, I know that I'm going to be faced with this at a later time, and it's the same thing, the same feeling I'm getting now, about that thing that, I need to, just get out of me, I know if I don't do it now, I'm gonna get to a point where I know, you know, I'm gonna get to that point where I say, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do it at that time? So it's just um yeah, I can feel it in
You
myself.
can feel it.
I can feel it in myself.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I'll wrap it up this way then, Sandra.
Hmm.
Do you, or are you now going to create a plan as to how you're going to accomplish this, or do you already know this is what I need to do?
I don't know what I need to do, but I know
Okay,
that I need to
to
do
do
it.
it. Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
And I might
perfect.
message you after.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah,
There we go. We'll close off like that. That
yeah.
you're gonna create a plan on how to accomplish
Mhm,
that, so that you can now tick that and move.
mhm.
Because
Yeah.
one thing I say is, guys, when we've got a list of these things that we're kind of to do and we kind of don't do, there's always backlog. There's always something, to kind of sort out that. It's always good to flush out. But when you don't do A, you can't get through the list.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
though it's a bit like, oh, I don't really want to do it, do A so D can get in. By the time D
Mhm,
gets in, then we're on H. By the time we're on Z, and we're lighter and it's easier, and we've trained ourselves to know. You see, you've trained
mhm,
yourself. You know the feeling now. You know the
mhm.
sensation.
I
You know what it
do.
looks like if you don't do it now. You've
Mhm,
picked up on it. So now you're here. You're like, okay, I know now. I know. And that's excellent.
mhm, mhm,
And it means it's the right time. It means you haven't missed the time. If you don't do it now, the feeling has arisen, then you've missed the time. But if it hasn't come before and it's coming now and you're not ignoring it, it's the
mhm,
right time.
mhm,
Before wouldn't have been the right time. Now it's the right
mhm.
time. So a big
Yeah.
congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
And thank you once again, Sandra,
Thank
honestly, for your
you.
time, for your openness, for engaging. I can't thank you enough. And I know the rest of the viewers can't thank you enough. So please, guys, like this video, get this out there. This is for people to watch during the season before we start a new year.
Mhm.
Let's revive our spirits. So yeah, thank you so much, Sandra.
Thank
I
you,
leave you now,
Eva.
and yeah, we'll talk offline, I guess.
Okay then.
I'll get in touch
All right.
definitely. Sleep
Yeah.
well, and yeah,
Thank
have a
you.
restful sleep.
And
Yeah,
enjoy your Christmas,
I
okay,
will
with your
do. I will do.
family.
Same to you. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you.
Lots of
Take
love. Take
care.
care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.